This is the Royals POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Kansas City Royals. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome in to the Royals POSTCAST on the Locked On Podcast Network and here on the Locked On Royals channel, your team every day. I'm your host, Chance Liebau, and I'm here to bring you reaction to every Royals game the rest of the way. I know you've seen Jack a lot here recently, but that was a couple time thing. He will be hosting the daily show from here on out, but from here on out in the postcast, it'll still be me. Just had some work to take care of with my full-time job. And if you want to, you can shoot me a follow at Chance Liebau. That's at ChanceLiebau on Twitter. And if you can't make a show live, don't worry. These episodes will be uploaded for you to listen to on demand wherever you get your podcasts. It can be Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and we are on Odyssey. Before we get started, remember to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so that you get an alert whenever we go live and whenever Jack uploads videos on the regular channel. Thanks so much for joining the show. Feel free to join the live chat and let me know your thoughts on the game. A lot of people, I was able to get to some questions on our Saturday show. We've already got some people coming in and getting some in here early. Why is Rave DHing? I could have predicted a loss tonight. We will get to those questions here in a moment. But first, we want to get you into our first segment, which is what you'll be talking about.
This is what you'll be talking about.
It was a really bad game for the offense. Once again, through the first 5 innings. And this time, 9 up, 9 down. Things are cruising for Taj Bradley, one of the better pitchers in the American League when he's on. And I know I said that about Dylan Cease, and Cease doesn't have great numbers. Taj Bradley was once a top prospect. And the one thing that he has going for them that the Royals don't have going for them is he's got a really good fastball. And Royals are not good fastball hitters. That has been that way for a while. Especially this season. It's one of the things that they have uniquely struggled with is hitting fastballs, hitting velocity. And tonight was a lot of the same. First time through the order, you saw a lot of weak contact. Jonathan India did not have a great series after that first one in San Diego and then continued to struggle tonight. You saw in the lineup, Maikel Garcia got things going late, had a couple of good ABs against the bullpen, but really struggled against Taj Bradley. Bobby Witt Jr. did not play well, 0 for 4 with a punch-out. He is not hitting well at home this season, a stark contrast to really what we saw last year from Bobby Witt Jr. And then really the bottom fell out with the bottom of the order. The final 4 of Jack Caglione, Drew Waters, John Rave, and Kyle Isbell did not have very good ABs all night long. And I'm throwing Caglione in there because Jack Caglione has also really struggled this season with fastballs. It's been really, really tough for him to hit major league fastballs. And I think that that's just something that the Royals have to be better at because like I said on the show on Saturday after the Padres loss, I said the Royals have to at some point beat a good pitcher. Dylan Cease is a good pitcher. Taj Bradley, I mean, he'd be a 4-starter for the Royals right now. He's a good pitcher. He would be a lot of teams 2 or 3. I know he's not having a great year, but he's a good pitcher when he's on. The peripherals are much better on Taj Bradley. The Royals didn't hit his fastball well all night long. I mean, it was Main Street and otherwise, and the Royals just could not make solid contact with it. Vinny got under a lot of stuff today. Bobby continues to really just not square up a whole lot of baseballs, and that's going to continue to become an issue for this team when you can't hit fastballs because that's the one pitch that you kind of have to sit on. Is a fastball, and the Royals just haven't been able to do that all season long. I mean, it is a really tough hole to dig yourself out of when the pitcher can just sit on the big number 1. So I don't think it's a approach issue. I don't think it's a hitting coach issue. I just think they're not hitting well right now. Fastballs, home, away. I mean, this continues to be really bad at home. Really bad at home. Ryan talked about it. This is going to be the last time, or the 4th time since the last homestand that the Royals have gone 1 or fewer runs in the homes, and since last homestand started at home. So that is an issue. And I know that somebody says in the comment section, perhaps if ownership wasn't so obsessed with wanting to get rid of Kauffman Stadium, there'd be a lot more energy to help the players. I'm going to have to disagree there, but I do think it's a valid point. I really don't think that the fans' energy changes whatsoever compared to what ownership is doing. But I do think that, I mean, the crowd was solid tonight for a Tuesday night in June where it is really hot out. I mean, I thought it was a solid crowd tonight for the most part. And at one point, I mean, you cannot blame ownership for the players not hitting well at home. You can't blame the fans for not giving them energy at home. Sometimes you just have to be able to create energy. You have to be your own fire starter. And that's what the Royals just don't have right now. Like I said, I think it was a week ago, the Royals just have a lot of front runners right now. A lot of guys that are content when they're in the lead, that are content when things are going well. But when things are going poorly, things really start to slow down a bit. And so I think this is an issue that the Royals are going to have to overcome. They're going to have to get an enforcer of some sort in that locker room, whether that is via somebody stepping up in the clubhouse right now, via trade, or maybe even a call up from Omaha, because the only guy that I think in this organization that has that, I don't want to say dog in him, but a guy that is going to be an enforcer, going to be an energizer bunny in that dugout, it's MJ Melendez. And he was that for them last season, even though he was hitting horribly. And I'm not advocating for him to play on this team. I'm not advocating for him to get a call up, but he was, I don't want to call him, he was kind of the glue that held the team together at some points last season because of his infectious energy that they just don't have in the clubhouse right now. I think Mark Canha's days are limited, especially I was talking to Jack last week when I was hosting my show on ESPN Wichita, my full-time job. The Royals are facing a ton of righties coming up. They don't have a left-handed pitcher until the end of the series next week in Seattle. So the Royals have the benefit of, not Seattle, wherever they're playing next week, early in the week, they've just got a bunch of right-handed pitchers coming up next. So a guy like Mark Canha becomes very expendable because they aren't going to be seeing a whole lot of lefties. But this was a game that the Royals kind of had, I don't want to say have to win. It's a 162-game season. But this has to be a game that you win, or at least get some kind of energy from. Because the Dodgers are coming to town this weekend, and crazier things have happened. The Royals could absolutely win that series. But I'm not selling my soul that the Royals are going to, just not get swept, because the Dodgers are a really good team. So this was a game that they had to win, and it puts more pressure on them over the next couple of days, where they're going to have to be much better. And you're, battling with the bottom of your rotation with Michael Wacha, who's been better this season, but he's had his rough patches, and Michael Lorenzen, who hasn't been great of late. So this game was one that you kind of had to win, and they didn't, because they got a really bad offensive performance, and Kris Bubic was less than stellar and less than what we've seen from him early this season. So that is what you'll be talking about. When we come back, I will talk about what I saw from Kris Bubic today and some of the struggles that we've seen from him recently. What is to become of that from Kris Bubic and his recent struggles? That's all coming up next on the Royals Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network. Guys, you've probably heard of Viagra or Cialis. Maybe you even tried them. But if you're looking for something beyond the usual pill, it's time to meet Rugiet Ready. Rugiet Ready is a next-gen prescription treatment designed to amplify arousal in the brain and boost blood flow. Unlike the usual pills that can take hours, Rugiet's 3-in-1 formula dissolves under your tongue and kicks in fast, on average in 15 minutes. Effects can last up to 36 hours, so you can stay confident and in control when the moment is right. You can even read real customer reviews on their site, and it's helping a lot of people feel more confident and present in the moment. Head to Rugiet.com/LockedOnMLB and use code LockedOnMLB to get 15% off today. That's RUGIET.com/LockedOnMLB and use promo code LockedOnMLB for 15% off. Individual results may vary with prescription treatment. Compounded drugs are permitted to be prescribed under federal law, but are not FDA approved and do not undergo FDA safety, effectiveness, or manufacturing review. Please visit the Rugiet website for full safety information. Also want to tell you about Monarch Money. Ever wish managing your money felt easier? With Monarch Money, it can. Whether you're growing your savings or planning a big purchase, Monarch puts you in the driver's seat. It's like having your own personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money is more than a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So in addition to managing your money, you're also building wealth. Having an all-in-one app to track finances, income, and spending has made things so easy to budget every month. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONMLB for half off your first year. It's no secret that Kris Bubic has not been great here recently, but it is really started to tip off here recently. And the one thing I'm seeing from him is he's missing with his fastball a lot. Tonight, he kind of got beat around after the Danny Jansen home run. But when those other runs came to pass, it was a lot of weak contact, a couple balls past Michael Garcia at third, ball down the line. You know, if they're hit a little bit differently, they're probably outs. So I'm going to give him a pass on those. But the one thing we've seen from Kris Bubic recently that's really been a struggle for him is the fact that his fastball is not playing that well. He struck out 8 tonight and didn't walk anybody. So it's not like he had a terrible outing. He had some weak contact. But when he misses with his fastball, it is not a productive outing for him because he's not a great, his fastball is not good enough to when he misses his spot up in the zone, that it's going to be just fine. So I think that he'll be just fine in the long run. But right now his command issues are certainly holding the Royals back and holding himself back. I think he'll be fine. I think that the month of May and maybe even the month of April when he was really, really good, I mean, the pitcher of the month in May, those months, that was probably, I don't want to say fluke, but a bit of a flash in the pan. I think it was less of a sign of things to come and more of a really good start, and he'll have a 3.5 ERA this season. That'll be kind of what he goes for. But I really do like what Kris Bubic has done this season. The full body of work is there, but when his fastball is missing, it's missing middle, and that's not going to work for him because his fastball, it plays up in the zone. When his fastball is up in the zone, it's got that rise to it that really makes it an elite pitch. That's what makes him great. But I start to worry that when he misses with his fastball, things start to go awry very quickly. But I think he'll be just fine. The Rays lineup has been really good recently. The Rays are a really good team. They're first in the AL wild card for a reason. So I think that while tonight was definitely frustrating for fans, I'm frustrated. It was a terrible loss in terms of the offensive output. 4 hits and 2 of them came in the last frame. That's bad. It's bad. And I said it before the road trip. The Royals offensively in the first half this season are one of the worst. First 5 innings. In the first 5 innings are one of baseball's worst this season at scoring runs. And at home, they're almost a half run worse than anybody else in the first 5 innings. That, I think, comes down to approach and game plan. And I'm not calling for anybody's job. I'm not going to do that. But I do think that falls on the coaching staff for a failure to prepare, especially coming off of an off day in a really rough series in San Diego. So I'm upset at the loss. I'm not calling the season over. They're 3 games under 500. I think that a good week here or there could put the Royals back in contention, but definitely not what you wanted to see in the first game of the homestand, especially when you consider who will be here this weekend, because the Dodgers are coming to town and they're going to be bringing a ton of bats and they are going to be able to outpitch the Royals. The Rays tonight were able to outslug them. Danny Jansen goes yard. Kris Bubic stuff wasn't great. I think that's the 4th straight start for Bubic where his stuff has been mediocre. But 8 strikeouts is still really good. He just missed a lot. And so that kind of shows you the ceiling of a guy like Kris Bubic, because even a night when he didn't have his best stuff, and even in a week last week when they faced the Rangers and he didn't have his best stuff, he was still able to grind through 5 1/3 against the Rangers and still struck out 8 through 6 frames tonight against a really good Rays lineup. So I'm not selling any Kris Bubic stock, but it is a bit concerning when his fastball isn't there. You can tell early on in the first inning what kind of Kris Bubic you're going to get. And if it's not there in the first inning, it's going to be hard to come by the rest of the game. So I'm okay. I think that was, my feelings about the season are still about a 6 out of 10, still pretty waiting for someone to really take the reins of this team. And I'm waiting for something to kind of click with this offense, because it's getting to be a bit of a trend where they fall asleep through the first, they forget to set their alarms, and maybe they need to stretch a little bit more before the games. I mean, there's so many things that they could do, but who knows how many of them are going to work. I think right now it's just on the players to perform, and that's something that they have yet to do this season. And guess what? If the players don't perform, JJ Picollo is a very proactive general manager, and he'll go out there and get guys that will. So I am upset about the loss, but I think they'll be just fine in the long term. Tomorrow, we'll be back in this saddle. Tomorrow, another 6:40 first pitch. So we'll be back here around the same time. This is a really quick game tonight. I know I set the live stream reminder for 10 o'clock, but I forgot that I did that last week in the Rangers series. Quick game tonight, but I would imagine I'll be back in this seat tomorrow. It will be me. It won't be Jack. We're going to stop doing this alternating thing where we go back and forth. But it will be me for pretty much the foreseeable future until high school football season starts, and I have a real job that'll take me away on Friday nights. But that is my thoughts on the Royals game tonight. I appreciate you guys all in the comments section for keeping things going. I will see you guys tomorrow around 9:15, where we'll have another Royals postcast as the Royals take on the Rays in game number 2. I'm Chance Liebau. You've been listening to the Locked On Royals postcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network.